All right, ladies and gentlemen, so if you're a coach or consultant or somebody who's selling information online in the form of a course or a program or something like that, I'm going to tell you why in this video, why the info space is kind of in a tragic spot right now, and why over the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to be seeing a massive shift. And if you're not able to adapt, you're pretty much going to be left making barely any money, not going to be able to do what you want, not really going to be able to bring your business to the position you want. Okay, so let's jump into this. So pretty much with info, I want to start this video off by telling you guys pretty much a story of a mentor that I used to work with. So I used to work with this mentor about 2 years ago at this point, 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Very smart guy. He was doing like roughly 6 figures a month. Okay. At this time in my business, I think I was only doing like $15,000 or $20,000 a month. And I started working with him for about a month, month and a half. And then month and a half in, he pretty much reached out to me along with all of the other people who were in his program. And he just said, hey, I'm shutting down my business. Right. And I was like, immediately I was like, oh, wow, well, shit, I paid you for like 5 months of work. Like, what the hell? What's going on? I jumped on a call with him. And he kind of just explained to me like what's going on in the info space. What he pretty much explained to me, this guy's very smart, very intellectual, is that the cost of information is only going down and has gone down so much. Let me draw you an illustration. So let's say 20, 30 years ago, if you wanted to get proficient in business and understand, let's say marketing on a high level, okay, what would I have to do? I would have to probably go to a library and go look through marketing books, okay? Let's say I wanted to read a Dan Kennedy book or a specific person. That would be very difficult to find. That person would have to be in my local library. That person, I'd maybe have to try to find somebody who had access to that book. It would have been difficult to access those insights, okay? I'd have to know someone, etc. Flash forward 30 years, current day, 2025. Let's say I want to get good at marketing. Let's say I want to understand marketing on a high level, okay? I can simply go on YouTube, watch a couple videos. I can go ask AI, okay? I can go ask a search engine that has access to AI, okay? So what has that done? More people have access to information, number one, okay? The cost of information has gone down drastically. People in India, people in Pakistan, people in sub-Saharan Africa, people who don't have much money, okay, are able to access the same quality insights as people in first world countries or people who have money or people who, are trying to start their business in the USA. Okay, so everyone, the playing field has been leveled because the cost of information has gone down a lot, okay, and everybody has access to the same quality information. Even AI is free. Right? Anyone can kind of go on, use Grok or use like the base level ChatGPT, which is still extremely proficient, and go do that, okay? And over time, pretty much what my mentor explained to me, he said over time, information is just going to become more and more like unvaluable. People are not really going to value it anymore because, I can access that quality of information for free in a quarter of the time, okay? And pretty much what he told me is he said, over time, especially with AI coming out, the only models that are going to be around are simply going to be models where it is a human-to-human connection, something that AI can't replace. And he said human-to-human connection, like for example, communities where you're selling access to other people, okay? AI is not going to take over that. Okay, and he harped on the fact of communities, and how over time, interaction is going to be one of the only things that AI is not going to be able to replace, okay? Let me give you another example. So with the coaching space, with the info space, the average success rate right now, if you're selling info, for clients who join your info program is less than 1%. Less than 1%. You may be like, oh, no, my client results are better. Okay, average, Okay, maybe yours is a little bit better than average. Average is 1%, okay, which is horrible. Then you ask yourself, okay, well, why is the info space, like, why are people not getting success with this stuff? Is information really the thing that are stopping people from getting to the next level? Okay? Because in your business, you have to realize it's not necessarily the fact of you getting clients or you marketing yourself, getting meetings, getting clients that's going to build your business. If you're trying to build a legitimate business, you have to have people that stay. You have to have clients that are going to stay with you long term, because it's a lot harder to get clients on a constant level, marketing, sales, whatever, than to keep clients, okay? So if you're selling info right now, one of the things you have to realize is the info space, the education space is going to most likely over the next 2 to 3 years become pretty much destroyed in a sense by AI, destroyed in a sense by everyone having similar access to the same level of insight and the same level of pretty much education than everyone else, okay? And when everyone has access to the same level of education, what else is there to sell, okay? And then this kind of furthered my talk with my mentor, and we talked about this as well. And he said community, and then on top of that, there are also assets that you could sell, okay? I get all of my clients to productize their business, okay? We're not selling access to coaching or, hey, here's a program or whatever. You're selling a product, an asset that you've compiled together, okay, and then given to that client. Something that is productive. For example, think about it like a software, okay? A software is something that does the X action. It does the thing that you're trying to solve for, okay? It's an asset. It can run. It's not an information. It provides an action and solves a solution. It's an asset, okay? Education is information, and that is very easily going to be, in my opinion, going to be replaced, okay? So I get all my clients to productize their business, and pretty much what I mean productize, just create an asset from their business, okay? Take the information you have. Let's say you're helping people online make money with day trading. Just let's say that's your niche, okay? Instead of selling access to your community and whatever, why don't you create a product, a software, for example, or something like an indicator? Like, I'm just throwing things out here that are going to not have a harder time being replaced by AI, by pretty much info being less valuable, okay? Something that provides an action for you. That asset provides the action. And I do the same with fitness coaches, because that's the niche I work with. I work with fitness coaches online in terms of helping them create something that solves for accountability, solves for pretty much creating programs and creating insight and check-ins and all that sort of stuff to help people lose weight or gain muscle or whatever niche we're in within fitness, okay? And through that method, you have an asset, okay? And you're not selling information anymore. You're selling the asset. So some of you may understand this, some of you may not, but that's the video today. I just want to talk about how the info space is just getting harder and harder to compete in. And you're going to notice this over the next 2 to 3 years when it's just going to be even lower cost to get into the space. Look at Alex Hormozi. He just released his book for $35, $40. People all over the world are going to buy that, and they're going to get access to very high quality insights that the top 1% marketers have. And then now what's the differentiator? How are you going to compete, okay? Do you have an asset? Do you have that one thing that, an asset can even be a brand as well, okay? This is why building a personal brand and building like leverage around who you are and a brand around yourself is very powerful as well, because that's also going to be very, very difficult to be replaced as well. So there's a couple things that are going to be harder to be replaced, especially with AI coming out as well, and just the access to information. But I'll just leave you with this. If everyone knows the same thing, what else is there left to differentiate on? Okay, think about that and you'll come to a solution in terms of how you can go about pretty much solving for your business. So thanks for watching.